and Ghana hits a record $3.7 billion in 2022. These and many other stories coming up shortly. Hello there, good evening. Welcome to Business Brief here on TV3. My name is Michael Obodu. Before we bring you our top stories, let's check out some other stories that are making the rounds in the world of business today.
Today in business, economist with the University of Ghana Business School, Professor Godfred Bokpin, has hinted at a likely third domestic debt exchange program. According to him, this is due to the government's inability to fully restructure its domestic debt. He was speaking at the 3 Business TV3 Thought Leadership Forum. The Social Security and National Insurance Trust, Senate, says it will be able to continue paying monthly pensions of its members despite the expected impact of the second round of the domestic debt exchange program. Even though pension funds were earlier exempted, the Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta recently announced government's planned restructuring as part of efforts to manage the country's debt. Prices for many items continued to rise in the US last month despite a sharp increase in interest rates to stamp out inflation. The rate of inflation rose at 3.2% over the year to July, driven by higher food, housing and car insurance costs, the Labour Department said.
Well, thank you for staying with us, and straight into our first story as the total trade in goods between the United States and Ghana hit a record high of $3.7 billion in 2022. The U.S. Embassy in Accra disclosed that Ghana had a $1.8 billion trade surplus with the United States in the same year. Trade in services is also strong and growing, according to the U.S. Embassy in Accra. The growth in trade between U.S. and Ghana has been bolstered by the African Growth and Opportunities Act, AGOA. Ghanaians can export more than 6,500 products to the United States duty-free through AGOA. Well, let's now bring you more perspectives on this particular subject as Ghana exported $2.7 billion worth of goods to the United States, making it Ghana's largest export market. The major Ghanaian exports to the U.S. include crude oil, cocoa in the form of beans, paste and butter, apparel, rubber and cassava. Well, on the other hand, Ghana is United States' third largest export market in sub-Saharan Africa, behind South Africa and Nigeria, with a total export worth $1 billion. The major U.S. exports to Ghana are cars, machinery, medical devices, fertilizers, paper products, plastics, and agricultural goods. Well, away from that, the Vice President of the LPG Marketers Association says the cylinder recirculation module will lead to LPG price hike. According to Gabriel Kumi, the argument by the National Petroleum Authority that the program will not affect the price of LPG is not entirely true. The association is therefore calling on the authority to educate Ghanaians on any potential adjustments.
The National Petroleum Authority, NPA, is set to roll out the cylinder recirculation module in September 2023. Under the program, residents of Accra and Kumasi, where the program is set to kickstart, will not have to own a cylinder or travel out of their homes to fill their gas cylinders after registering with their Ghana card. However, the LPG Marketers Association says the program will increase the price of LPG.
We've heard from NPA that this is not going to increase the price of LPG, and we don't see how that can happen, because you are going to introduce a line onto the cost build-up. So definitely this is going to increase the cost of LPG, because the retailers are still going to be there, the marketers are still going to be there. You are going to introduce bottling plants, and these are not, excuse me to say, Father Christmas people who are just come and want to help Ghanaians. These are people who have invested and who want to see their investment recouped. So definitely there's going to be an introduction of additional line in the cost build-up.
The association also believes the program has many flaws which needs time to be corrected. They are asking NPA to extend the commencement date to January 1, 2024.
There are problems that we can see now. So why don't we deal with those ones and wait till implementation before we start dealing with them? The problems that you can't solve now are those you can't see. You can clearly see that this is fire, and you go and put your hands in it and say that when I put my hands in it and it burns me, I'm going to put some ice water on it. No. This is fire. Let's quench the fire before we get there. Why do we have to wait till we get there before we start solving problems that we can see today? That is the difference.
Now, from the energy sector, let's turn our attention to the telco industry, as the GSMA has revealed in its report that there exists a significant divide between the potential of mobile money in accessing electronic government services and the current utilization. This gap, according to Senior Insights Manager Nigham Shahid, not only represents untapped opportunities, but also a disparity in empowerment, especially for women entrepreneurs.
I think there is a gap between what could be done using mobile money to access e-government services and what is being done right now, and especially how many women are using mobile money, for example, for P2G payments, government-to-person payments, and to businesses as well. So more men are using business-to-government payments than women are, even though many women are running enterprises, and this is leaving them behind. So there are recommendations, of course, to ensure how more women enterprises and more women-led households can use mobile money to access those e-government services. I think that the new government, the draft policy that's coming out, can serve as a real enabler for women, and I think there needs to be a very concerted effort to understand where women are being left behind, why they're being left behind. The report does identify what those challenges are. It provides recommendations to governments, as well as the telecoms companies, as well as donor and development partners.
Let's now turn our attention to the forex market and find out how major trading currencies are faring today. Well, the dollar appears to be on some streak there, very relative stability. Let's now turn our attention to the commodities market to find out how major trading commodities are faring. Well, the price of cocoa is down 0.95%, trading at $3,331 per barrel. The price of crude oil is up by $4.93, trading at about $1,919. The price of crude oil is down by 0.48%, trading at about $87 per barrel. Also, mixed developments there from the commodities market. And that will be all for Business Brief here on TV3. For more business stories, please check out our website, 3news.com. My name is Michael Obodu. Thank you for watching. As always, please stay safe.